Okay, so Jesse, are you here?
Yep, we can hear you. You can get started. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So good morning, everyone. I guess it's 10 a.m. Your time. Okay, so let me start here. My name is Mira. I'm an AI engineer. We're going to start the first session of our course, which is chatbots. In this course, we will explore how chatbots evolved from simple scripted systems into the intelligent generative AI tools that now shape our world. But beyond how they work, we will focus on how to evaluate them because building a chatbot is easy. Building one that's accurate, trustworthy, valuable, this is the real challenge, right? So today's session is all about setting that foundation, what chatbots are, how they can communicate, how we can communicate with them, and why proper evaluation is critical for success. So before we dive in, let me ask you, um, who here has ever used a chatbot? Let's say ChatGPT maybe, or Alexa, Siri. I believe that many of you have used these chatbots, or even the chatbots from our banks, the ones that just are very annoying. So all of these are chatbots. We communicate with them. So here's something most people don't realize. This idea of okay, so people are responding with yes, and you use them daily, right? That's the fact of our everyday use. We use ChatGPT for anything. We even stopped using Google. We use Gemini or other chatbot services. So the idea of talking to a machine didn't start recently. Do you know that? It didn't start recently. It even began in the 1950s. This is a very mind-blowing thing. So long before smartphones, apps, or even the internet itself. Today, we're going to take a short journey through that story from Alan Turing's early question, which is, can machine think, to the generative AI systems that you all are giving examples of, like Gemini, Copilot, and etc. Okay, second, my screen froze. Okay. So let's start with the first, yeah, you can see my screen, right? Okay. So let's begin with the basics. What exactly is a chatbot? A chatbot is short for a chat robot, which is a computer program which is designed to simulate a conversation with humans. So when you're talking with someone, there is a dialogue. You are giving a question or a query, and the other person responds to you. This is how chatbot works. Um, right. So you can type to it or even speak to it, and it responds. A chatbot, I mean, They respond in natural language, which is the language that you understand, whether it was English, Arabic, and other. And it's as if you're talking to a real person, right? In essence, it's a bridge, an interface between human and digital systems. Instead of navigating through complex menus, you just express what you want, and the chatbot interprets your intent and performs the task. Like ChatGPT, you can just ask it, how many calories are in my plate, and you just give it an explanation or even the image of your plate, and it responds to you. So whether it's answering your question or even booking a ticket for you or helping you debugging a code as a programmer. That's my daily use of ChatGPT. So chatbots make technology more conversational and accessible. But this simple idea has a long and fascinating history, and that's where our story begins. Okay, so let's move on to the second slide. So the history of chatbots. Now, after we discovered what chatbot really means, let's go back to where it all began, not with ChatGPT or Siri, but a man called Alan Turing, who is often called as the father of artificial intelligence. If you have seen the movie The Imitation Game, you have already met this guy. He's portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch as the brilliant mathematician who helped crack the German Enigma code during the World War II. But beyond code breaking, Turing asked one of the most important questions in the history of technology, which is, can machine think? In the 1950s, he proposed what's now known as the Turing test, or what he originally called the imitation game. His idea was simple, but groundbreaking. So I will move on to this image here to explain more what Turing test is. So his idea was simple, but it evolved the world that we live in right now. If a human judge, which is this integrator, if he gets two documents or two different texts and cannot determine which is machine written or which is a real human written, if this judge does not know the difference, then we have an AI over here. So this was the Turing test. That question it didn't just change computing, it ignited an entire field. It planted the seed for what we now call AI and eventually for chatbots. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay. So let's start from the early beginnings. From 1950 to 1970, 2 decades later, after Alan Turing, researchers began building the first conversational programs. In 1966, Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT created ELIZA, which is the world's first true chatbot. It simulated question. For example, if you said, I'm feeling sad, it would respond with, why are you feeling sad? Despite its simplicity, people became emotionally engaged and they actually believed the bot understood them. As simple as it was, it was different from the things that they had back then. This reaction became known as the ELIZA effect. Then in 1972, Kenneth Colby, a psychiatrist, developed Perry, which mimicked a patient with paranoid schizophrenia. It was more complex. It used an internal logic about emotions and beliefs to shape its answer. At one point, researchers even made Eliza and Perry talk to each other, like now how we make Siri or ChatGPT and Gemini talk to each other. They actually did the same thing back then. So, which produced then a hilarious and confusing conversation that perfectly captured both the potential and the limits of early AI and chatbot. Then the expert systems and GUIs in the 1980s to 2000. As computing advanced, the focus shifted from open conversation to expert systems. Okay, to expert systems. I'm sorry, that specialized in solving narrow domain-specific problems. During this era, graphical user interfaces became common, and users began clicking instead of typing. I'm gonna show you a picture of Eliza. So no, I don't have this picture. One second. I'm gonna show you what I mean with GUIs and clicking instead of typing. You know that back then they used to code everything. They didn't have any GUIs to just click from, like how I'm using the mouse right now. So they actually just coded everything or typed it. One second. What is it called? If anyone has a question, you could ask, and I will be answering them as soon as I get the chance to it. Okay. Okay, so this is Eliza. They didn't have a GUI or like a user interface to interact with it. They only had this CMD, which you write your own prompt or code. So yeah, at the 2000, they, after inventing the GUI, things different, things shifted. So during when I'm sorry, one second. Yeah, in 1995, Richard Wallace introduced Alice, which is the artificial linguistic internet computer entity. It used a structured markup language called AIML to manage large sets of conversation patterns. And it won multiple Luminary prizes, the modern form of Turing test competition. It proved that with enough rules, you could simulate meaningful dialogue as long as users stayed within the bot's script. So it's not actually intelligence here. It's more like a set of rules that the chatbot will follow to answer the user's question. So if I ask anything outside the instructions that has been given to this chatbot, it will completely be lost and won't be able to answer your questions. Okay. So the third era, which is the internet and smartphones, with the rise of the internet, chatbots made their way into our daily life. In 2001, Smarter Child became popular on AOL and MSN Messenger, delivering a sports score, weather, and trivia of millions of users, to millions of users, I'm sorry. It was the first glimpse of digital assistants becoming part of our everyday chat experience. Then came IBM Watson, which wasn't a chatbot per se, but in 2011, it shocked the world by defeating human champions in Jeopardy, showing that AI could understand complex questions and retrieve precise answers from vast amounts of unstructured data. And in 2010, Apple launched Siri to iPhone 4, marking the movement with AI assistants, where AI assistants actually entered our pockets. For the first time, millions of people were talking to their phones and getting answers back, not just typing. The word is always changing. The fourth era, which is deep learning and generative AI, which started in 2011 until now, This here is ChatGPT and others. Wait 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so this changed everything. With the rise of deep learning, instead of following rules, machines started learning patterns from massive data set. And instead of having just rule-based systems, they started learning, understanding our natural language, not just the language of coding or the data that they were given. It started reading patterns and learning from these patterns. This gave birth to voice-based assistants like Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, which could process speech, understand context, and they manage tasks naturally. In 2017, the transformer architecture was introduced, a breakthrough that allowed AI to understand long-term context, not just one sentence, but even a full dialogue or many paragraphs. This breakthrough, which was called which we were able to be introduced to it by the attention mechanism, which is the architecture that is powered by large language models, the backbone of today's conversational AI, by the way. After that came OpenAI's GPT models, starting with, I'm sorry, 1 second. Let's stay here. Starting with ChatGPT's, I'm sorry, GPT-2, then GPT-3, and etc. They transformed chatbots into generative systems, which are capable of writing essays, summarizing text, coding even, etc. We entered what's now called the generative AI era, by the way, where chatbots no longer repeat information, they actually create the information. So yeah, from Alan Turing's to GPT, that's a whole amazing transformation. Let's start with the rule-based. We will talk here about the how and the pros, cons of each type of chatbots. So we have seen how chatbot evolve. Now, different chatbots are built for different purposes. Very, very different experiences. I see that some of you are asking. I'm gonna just wait a little bit until I answer to all your questions and maybe then take a break or something. Okay, so there are three main categories of chatbots: the rule-based, the AI-powered, and the hybrid. You want me to zoom? 1 second. Oh, okay, so it's not from me. Okay. I'm gonna try to zoom it a little bit, but I think this is all I can get. Okay. So yeah, let's continue here. So yeah, we said that there are three main categories of chatbots: the rule-based, the AI-powered, and the hybrid chatbots. The rule-based chatbots, as a first, these are the simplest, sometimes called deterministic or decision tree bots. They follow predefined rules. If this, then that, which is one of the main let's say rules that we follow in coding. So if this, which is the trigger, if this happened, if the question asks this question, if you have been given this information, then you have to do this, to do that. Then you have to answer with that answer. and so on. So this is how the rule-based chatbots work. If this, then that, which is actually short, is can be short for IF. Sorry, wait. IFTT. Yeah. Okay. So developers design a conversation flow or script that dictates every possible path. For example, if there's a restaurant chatbot, this restaurant chatbot might have buttons like view menu, book a table, opening hours, which is what are related to this restaurant. If you click book a table, it leads you through a fixed sequence. Number of guests, date, time, nothing nothing is a surprise here. They are reliable, predictable, and safe. Perfect for structured processes like payments or form submissions, but step outside their script and they fail completely. So if you ask, are you available on, let's say, evening of a holiday or something, if they didn't have that specific information, so it won't be able to answer that. Okay. They don't really understand the language, by the way. They just follow the script or the code that is behind what you can see and contact with the chat. So they just match the patterns. The strengths of rule-based, we already have said that they're highly reliable and you can control them. You won't see any surprises here. They are easy to build, no training data needed, only a fixed script of code. So yeah, that's the strengths. The weaknesses here that there are no flexibilities. As I said, if you ask them outside the data that they were given, they won't be able to answer you, and they feel mechanical and repetitive. You don't feel like you're talking to a real person. It's just a set of rules and just a set of rules. So when we evaluate them, we focus on coverage of key cases, clarity of navigation, and how gracefully they handle errors. So this is the rule-based chatbot. Let's go to the AI-powered chatbot. 1 second, I'm gonna drink some water. Okay. So the AI-powered chatbots, now they are a big leap forward. They use NLP, which is natural language processing, and machine learning to understand what users mean, and not just what they type. So they identify intent, what the user wants to do, which is what the users want to do, and extract entities, key information within the message. So for example, if someone says, I want to book a flight from Dubai to London next week for one person. If you type this into this AI-powered chatbot, the chatbot will divide this sentence into the intent, which is book a flight, and the entities here are Dubai, which is from, London, which is to, and one person, which is the passenger, and next week, which is the date. These are the entity of the sentence that you give this chatbot. They are flexible, they are natural and capable of handling variations in language, but they require high quality training data. So yeah, they're expensive. The strengths here are that they understand free-form language, they improve with data over time, they're more human-like experience, not like the rule-based ones. The weaknesses here that they can misclassify intents, harder to control or predict. You have seen this. I believe that you have seen this before. If you are talking with ChatGPT and you ask it a specific question about something and they answer a completely different thing, because they have misunderstood the question that you gave it. So yeah, this is the weaknesses of the AI power. When you evaluate them, when we evaluate them, we focus on intent accuracy, entity extraction accuracy, and how they handle ambiguity or incomplete information. So, yep, this is the AI powered. Let's go for the hybrid chatbots. By its name, you can, AI hallucination. That's right. Let's go for hybrid chatbots, which are a combination of rule-based and AI-powered. So most real-world systems today, they actually use this approach. They combine both of the best strengths of they combine the strengths of the both of the chatbots. They rely on AI for open-ended understanding, but switch to rule-based flows for critical tasks, maybe like payment or collecting sensitive information. So let's imagine an e-commerce chatbot. You ask, what's your best wireless headset? The AI understands and recommends products. But when you say, I want to buy one, the system switches as soon as you say, I want to buy, to the fixed checkout flow to ensure everything is secure and compliant. This balance gives companies both flexibility and control, and it's the dominant model in commercial chatbot designs today. So they don't really rely on AI completely because it has its weaknesses. So they use rule-based for critical stuff. Great. Now let's compare generative versus retrieval. Okay, we have classified chatbots by their operation. Let's look deeper into this, at how they respond. Even with an AI-powered system, not all chatbots think the same. Even like let's think within quotation, because they don't actually think like humans. So even with the AI, we don't classify it into one chatbot, but it is two types of chatbot. The first one is the generative, and the second. Is everything okay? Are you able to hear me? Okay, great. Great, thank you. Okay, so let's start with retrieval-based chatbots. These are like librarians, okay? They don't invent answers, they only find them. A retrieval-based chatbot searches through a predefined repo of responses. For example, a database of FAQs or frequent asked questions, templates, or approved support messages. Then they picks the best match based on the user's question and context. Imagine it like a customer support agent flipping through a manual to read the official answer. Because they only use curated response, they're safe and they're consistent and compliant. They won't suddenly make things up like hallucination, right? Because they have a structure and the data. They don't need to invent anything. The strengths here are that they're grammatically reliable and controlled. They are safe for brand voice and compliance. They are great for structured domains like banking or customer service. So, but the weaknesses here are the limited flexibility. They can't go beyond what's already written. The conversations feel repetitive, like the rule-based one, which is this one is rule-based, but um, with the AI, you think that it won't be robotic, it won't feel robotic, but this one does. So yeah, in evaluation, we focus on retrieval accuracy and contextual relevance and coverage of possible user queries. This is the rule-based one. The generative chatbots, the generative chatbots are completely different. They don't look for an existing answer, they create one. This is the power of AI. This here is the core of AI. They are powered by LLMs, which are the large language models like GPT. They generate responses token by token. What is a token? It's considered a part of speech. It could be a word. It could be part of the word. So this is how the generative chatbots are. They create the answer for you. They use context and probability to form coherent and human-like text. They the generative AI is all based on probabilities and numbers. So if you ask them a query, it will transform it into a vector database, which is the sentence that you gave them or the question that you gave them, it transform it into numbers and then start using some probability and statistics to know what is the best answer for your question or the best response to your query. So think of them as creative experts who compose a tailored response on the fly. They can explain and summarize, translate, even brainstorm ideas and code, of course, all without being explicitly programmed for each task. The people who create these models, they don't really give them an answer for all the questions in the world. They have to come up with the answers on their own by the large set of data set that they were trained on. Yeah. The strengths here are that they're extremely flexible and dynamic. They can handle novel and open-ended questions. They offer natural, context-rich conversations, just like ChatGPT. Weaknesses, they can hallucinate. They produce plausible but incorrect answers. They can make things up. They are harder to control, and the safety it's harder to control the safety of it or even the accuracy. You have all heard what AI have been doing, and yeah, it's not always reliable. It can hallucinate, it can give wrong answers, etc. So the evaluation here, it focuses on factual accuracy and coherence and safety, and how well the chatbots stays aligned with the truth and the brand tone. Okay, so let's go for the RAG systems. Okay, second. Okay, so yeah, the RAG systems. This is really new, the retrieval augmented generation. It is used to bridge the gap between safety and creativity. So many modern systems use hybrid methods, right? Which is called the RAG system. I will show you an image of the RAG system. So yeah, this is the RAG system. When the user asks a question or give a query to the chatbot, let's say ChatGPT, it uses sometimes it uses a RAG system, a retrieval system. This system is using specific data, not just the data that ChatGPT was trained on. No, they use a different data, a new data, which is really narrow and really specific. Yeah, a query to a chatbot is called a prompt. That's right. So when the query go through the LLMs, it go through the specific data first, and then the LLMs used the data that was given to it as well as the training data set, and it then it generates an answer or a response to your question. So this is let me give you an example to something that you have done before. You have you have I'm sorry, one second. You gave an LLM before a file, right, or a set of files even. These files are specific to the question that you want. Let's say that you gave it a resume, a folder of your resume, a folder of your certificates, etc. And you use this file to write a prompt to the ChatGPT. Let's say that you asked it to generate a new CV based on the new achievements that you have achieved, like a new course, a new certificate, a new prize, etc. So the fact that you gave it these files, you used a mini RAG system. You used these files to generate the resume, and also the LLM used its own training data set to form the sentences for you. So it used both data to give you an answer. So this is what RAG system is actually are. So yeah, it generates a fluent, grounded response based on both the fact and its language understanding. It's like this approach actually combines the factual precision of retrieval-based bots with the expressive fluency of generative AI. And it's becoming the gold standard for enterprise systems. Enterprise chatbot systems. They all use RAG system today because they don't actually rely on the hallucination that can be introduced by the RAG system. Okay, let's go for the next slide. Okay, how about we're not taking longer. It's just 2 or 3 slides ahead. Let's take 5 minutes break and get back here at 10:47, I guess. So yeah, let's take a short break and I'll see you after 5 minutes. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So let's continue with chatbot lifecycle. Thank you. Okay, I just wanna close this one. So yeah. Okay. Up to now, we have talked about what chatbots are and how they evolved, and even how they operate and how we evaluate them. We didn't really talk about the evaluation. We will talk more about it right now. But even the smartest chatbots can actually fail if it's not evaluated correctly. Evaluation isn't just a final check before launch or just something, one of the parts of the life cycle of chatbots. It's a continuous and a strategic process that runs across the entire chatbot lifecycle. Let's break it down. So the chatbot lifecycle starts with the planning and design, where here we define goals, target users, and required capabilities. Then the data collection and training, we prepare and clean data for AI models. Then the development of integration, we implement logic and connect systems. After that, we test and evaluate. We verify the behavior against the expectations. So we have the test sets, the test sets, and the train sets. We see what is the expectation of the answer of an answer of a question and what the chatbot actually gave. Then we go for the deployment and launch. We release it to users, and even after the launch, we keep monitoring and maintenance the chatbots. We analyze the performance, learn, and improve. So why is evaluation is so strategic? Why is it so important? Let's look at 5 core reasons. Okay. First, it ties technical performance to business goals. A chatbot isn't just a technical project, it's a business tool. Evaluation actually connects performance metrics to KPIs like cost reduction, sales conversion, or customer satisfaction. Without proper evaluation, you can't prove ROI or even know if your chatbot is helping or hurting your objectives. So the business objective here is the main thing, is one of the main things that we have to evaluate our chatbots always. It also improves the user experience with the UX. The users expect smooth and human-like conversations. The systematic evaluation actually helps identify pain points and confusing replies, dead ends, and conversational loops. Fixing these issues directly improve the UX, and poor UX can damage not just the bot, but the entire brand. You have definitely used different chatbots like the LLM's chatbot like ChatGPT and Gemini, and even the Chinese ones, DeepSeek, etc. You have used the or interacted with the UX. You know which one is best for you and which ones are not. Actually, here also the businesses like OpenAI, which has ChatGPT, they use the let's say feedback from users. You can see the thumbs up and thumbs down after each response. They need these data, the feedback data, from the users to improve their own models. So yeah, or even improve the UX. So yeah, chatbots are on daily evaluation life cycle. Then it diagnoses weaknesses and prioritize improvements. Evaluation is like an X-ray. It shows what's broken. By analyzing failed dialogues and categorizing errors like intent misclassification, incorrect answers, or unclear responses, team can focus on targeted improvements instead of random fixes. Which here you can they can get benefit of the thumbs up, thumbs down, or any other feedback that that other companies use. Also, it manages risks and ensures compliance. With the rise of generative AI, evaluation is essential for controlling risk. It helps detect and mitigate many things like informational risks, ethical risks, security risks, and legal risks. Security risks are like data leakage or prompt injection. This is a new form of hacking. You can some of the chatbots that are not built correctly can actually give you sensitive information about other users that are not accessible to the internet or for you. It is only accessible for that user specifically. So yeah, this security hack is very dangerous. Also, data leakage from this is that data leakage. Also, prompt injection. Sometimes prompt injection can make the chatbot it can make it hallucinate and start giving information that is not supposed to do that it's not supposed to give, etc. Without robust evaluation, you are exposing the users and the organization information to real harm. So evaluation is really important here as well. Okay. So it also builds user trust. In the end, trust is the real currency of digital interaction. Users will only rely on a chatbot if it consistently gives accurate, relevant, and respectful responses. Ongoing evaluation ensures that consistency, and it builds the long-term capability of your system and the capability that your system needs to survive. Okay. Now, after we finished evaluating, let's see. Okay. We know why evaluation is important. Let's get practical. How do we actually evaluate a chatbot? Do all chatbots use the same evaluation? What different evaluation are there, etc.? Okay. A strong evaluation framework looks at performance from different angles, from single message all the way to full conversation. And it actually uses both automated and human methods to get the full picture. So first of all, the turn level evaluation, which is single exchange. At this level, we zoom in on an individual interactions, one user message and one bot response. We ask, did the bot understand the user's intent? Was the reply accurate, relevant, and clear? This is where we measure linguistic and comprehension and performance. The key metrics here are the intent accuracy, the entity extraction accuracy, the relevance, and the factual correctness. The intent accuracy is how correctly the system identifies what the user wants. And also the entity extraction is how well it captures the details like names, dates, or places. As we said before, I want a fly from London to, let's say, Dubai. It knows what entities are and identify them correctly. These are the key metrics for this level. This level actually helps pinpoint micro errors. It's the foundation of technical evaluation, not the whole. The conversation level evaluation, which is end-to-end dialogue, here we take a step back and look at the whole conversation from the user's first message to the final outcome, not just one message, one response. The question becomes, did the user actually achieve their goal? We measure both efficiency and satisfaction. The key metrics here are the task completion rate, the conversation length or a number of turns, the containment rate, the user satisfaction. So here, the percentage of the interactions where the user's goal was fully achieved. This is one of the most critical metrics, the task completion rate. Also, the number of turns. Fewer turns often mean better UX. Containment rate, how many interactions were resolved without human escalation. And user satisfactions, like NPS and CSAT, how users rate their overall experience after the chat. This level is about outcomes, not just correct answers, but a successful experience. The third evaluation is the evaluation methodologies. To truly understand chatbot quality, we combine three complementary approaches: the automated and the human and the hybrid. Here, the automated evaluation, we use algorithms and metrics to automatically compare chatbot outputs to reference answers. Common examples include PLEU or ROGE scores for text similarity and intent or entity accuracy for NLP models. The pros of this methodology is it's fast, it's cheap, and scalable. The cons, its limited understanding of meaning can actually overvalue surface level similarity. The human evaluation, this is the gold standard here. A trained human reviewers read conversations and rate them for accuracy, clarity, helpfulness, and etc. The pros here are that they capture nonce, creativity, and subtle linguistic errors that machines can miss. But the cons are that they're slow, they're expensive. You're using a human factor here. You need to give it salaries and etc. And the answers, or let's say the different point of views, can vary between reviewers. So you can have a fixed and a really, let's say, an answer that an AI or a chatbot can understand it or be helpful for it. As for the hybrid evaluation, we use both. In practice, the most effective approach actually combines both. Automated tools like they act as filters, flagging likely problem cases, and human evaluators focus on those. This balance provides both scale and depth. They have fast feedback, but with a human level insight, it's the method most production AI teams use today. Okay, so let's go for the wrap. Okay. Here we are at the end of this session. Let's take a breath and look back at what we have actually built today. We started by laying the foundation, understanding what chatbots really are and how they fit into the way we communicate with technology. Then we took a quick trip through their story, the history from the early experiments to today's powerful AI-driven systems. We also explored the main types of chatbots, the rule-based, the AI-powered, and the hybrids, and saw how each one works a little differently. We also talked about how they think and respond, whether they are retrieving answers or generating them, or even combining both. But the real highlight here is recognizing the evaluation, that it's not just a technical checklist. It's not something that you go through once. It's a strategic tool. It's what connects chatbot performance to user satisfaction and quality and also trust. So as we wrap up, think of this session as our foundation of the whole course. We have built the why and the what. Next sessions we will dive into the how and explore more about chatbots, and how they have become such great tools that we use every day. Okay, thank you so much. We just finished. Maybe I can answer one or two questions here. Okay, does anyone have a question? I don't think I can be able to go up. You're welcome, thank you. I guess the material is, Lutfi actually gave a link on Reddit. It's on Reddit channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. The prompts, the format is really important in giving a prompt. I think, I don't know the name, but the last name is Anthony. He asked if the prompts are better while given in JSON format. The prompt actually is a series of, or types. There are many types of prompts. Each one gives a specific answers to the specific question that you have. Some of them might have examples like a zero shot, and there are many prompts. There's actually a whole let's say major, which is called prompt engineering. You can look through that. It's about how well written the prompt can be, so that the AI can give you the best answer for your question. Okay, Salman said, asked, most of the time chatbots like GPT, Gemini give general answers of a specific task, even though the deep search is enabled. So there might be some limits through that. I'm not sure how or what was your case, but even with deep search, you have to give it a limitation. You have to say just answer with the papers that were produced from year so and 2 years so. So you give it a real a full prompt, not just a deep search. A deep search is not, it doesn't actually limit your the responses. It gives a wider response actually, maybe. So you need to give it specific set of rules. Let's say the years that the papers you want from it to retrieve, or the specific genres, or specific people. Maybe it's just the people who graduated from universities, or etc. You have to give it a full prompt to have like the best answer for your question. Okay, as her said, do you think chatbots can replace humans in communication and customer services? Yeah, and actually it just started, but it cannot fully replace humans because chatbots haven't really been to the point where it think like a human being. They are always um, giving mistakes and hallucinating and etc. So it can replace like chat customer services, but not other fields. Okay. Um, Chatbots can be rule-based, AI-powered, or hybrid. Yeah, those are the three types of chatbots. What's the greatest weaknesses of AI today? I don't think I have the answer for that. Um, Maybe the hallucination. The hallucination can be really bad for any chatbot because you want a full and productive um, experience when you talk to ChatGPT. You don't want to waste your time searching for the things that you want. So you take shorter turn by asking ChatGPT. So you don't want it to start creating things up. So maybe this one is really huge weakness. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We have finished here today. So I guess you can leave. Are you here?